In today's video, we'll be making lavender and mint soap frosted cupcakes. If you'd like the full recipe for this project, you can find it posted over at thermalmermaid.com. So let's get started. Our cold process base is pretty simple. It only consists of 4 oils, and this combination works real well when you're trying to get that nice, light, fluffy, frosted look on the tops of your soaps. You'll see what I'm talking about when we start working on the trace. But for now, we've got castor oil, coconut oil, rice bran oil, and lard. We'll mix our lye water solution very carefully. Remember, the lye crystals always go into the water, never the other way around, and I am wearing my mask and my eye protection for this. We'll gently dissolve all the crystals the best that we can. We don't want anything left over in that water. And when we're satisfied that everything's dissolved, we're going to set this aside and let it cool down so that our oils and our lye water solution will be at equal temperatures when we're ready to combine them. Here I'm adding a tablespoon of titanium dioxide into about 2 ounces of distilled water. I'm going to mix this up just to break up the little granules. When you set this aside, it's normal that it'll start to separate and you'll see a little sediment at the bottom of the dish. This is normal, and you'll just mix it up again when you're ready to use it. We'll do the same thing with our colors. I'm dropping this blue into about 3 teaspoons of very light vegetable oil. We'll do the same with the green and the purple, and we'll mix these well until they blend smoothly, and they should stay this way until we're ready to use them. Now we'll gently combine our lye water solution with our oil combination. Mine are both at room temperature. When you're doing this at home, you want to make sure that your lye water solution and your oils are within 15 to 20 degrees from each other. If the 2 liquids have too much variation in temperature, then the molecules will sort of shock each other when they're trying to bond. If they have a similar temperature, they'll bond with more harmony, and you'll get a better product. Now we'll start to mix this until it emulsifies. You'll notice that it's already a nice light colored batter, and we're going to add our titanium dioxide and it'll almost instantly turn white. The reason that I selected these oils, especially the lard, is that when you're trying to make something that's white or a white frosting, then you've already got the color that you want in the oil itself. So you'll notice we're staying away from the dark greens and the darker oils. Even the rice bran is pretty light for being on the brown side. So this is one of the reasons why this is one of my favorite recipes for this particular type of frosting. I'm dropping 1.5 ounces of lavender mint fragrance oil into the entire batter. Everything will be fragranced the exact same, so we're going to put that in right now. Another reason why I like this oil combination is that while we're mixing it, I'm going to be able to get this batter into that nice, fluffy, pipeable frosting texture that looks good on soaps. This batter will work out really well for that. Now, it won't happen too quickly. It's going to take me about a good solid 5 minutes working like this with the stick blender for me to get it into that nice thick pipeable consistency so we can make our frosting. But that's good because it'll give me time to separate and work with our colors and pour everything else that we need to. So I'm really happy with this recipe in that I can get all the work done, all the colors thoroughly blended, move around in a comfortable time, not rush and not feel like I'm have any anxiety with my project. And then when I'm ready to get that thick frosting, I can take my time and go in there and whip it up really well. So we have about 2 ounces of soap poured into the cupcake bottoms, and we're going to move over and make our colors. So we had set this aside to thicken up for about a minute or two, and we came back and it was doing exactly what I wanted it to. It's not pipeable yet, so we're gonna put the stick blender in there for just a few more minutes, and then we're going to see what we've got, if we can put it in the bag. It's taken about 5 minutes and we've got it exactly the way we want it. So we'll start with a spot in the center for every cupcake. And now we'll start to draw around and start building our way up. You might want to take just a second if you're not used to piping and give yourself a couple of practice circles on the parchment paper, because even though this piping texture is ready to go, some of my bottom layers still look a little bit flat, and mostly that's because of the angle that I'm holding the piping tip at. And frankly, the camera being so close to my elbow and having all of these soaps so close together so that they fit in the shot gets in the way a little bit. So we'll just work with what we have and start building them up as we go along. But even though I have a little bit of a space restriction, they seem to be building up really nicely, and I was really happy with how the frosting came out. Now we'll start with our little flower bunches. Now the fragrance is lavender and mint, but in my imagination I was seeing bunches of lilacs. So that's really what I was going for on these little cupcakes. I've changed over to a tip. It's just a simple little drawing tip with a tiny little dot, and we're just bunching little flowers together with our purple and our blue. And we'll do this until I run out of soap. I want these flowers to look like they're bunches that are draping the way lilacs do when they hang from the trees. So we don't want everything to be perfect. We want them to be a little bit unsymmetrical. I don't want them to be polka dot cupcakes or chickenpox cupcakes. I want them to be little bunches of flowers. So we kind of try to mix it up a little bit. We'll keep doing this till I completely run out of the purple, and then we'll switch over. And now we'll get ready for the green color. Even now, it's been about 15 minutes and it's still piping at a very comfortable consistency. Now my green are just little vines and I'm trying to connect the little bunches of flowers. I've switched over to a different piping tip as well. I'm using the smallest little single hole. And of course it wouldn't be finished if we didn't touch it off with a dusting of glitter. And here are our cupcakes after we finished piping the tops. Now we'll set these aside. I'll peel the bottoms off in about 48 hours. There's no rush on taking the silicone molds off, but they will have to cure for 4 weeks. So once we're done letting them dry, we're going to put them right over into our curing racks. I snapped these photos and sent them over to Hannah, one of the other creative artists at Thermal Mermaid, and I quickly got a text back that said, "Yay, you made bird poop cupcakes." I think they look like lilacs, little flowers.